I made a Witcher fan game using Unreal Engine in just 2 weeks, and here's how I made it. A few years ago, these artworks by Astor Alexander went viral. They featured a modern Noir depiction of the Witcher 3 characters, and I thought, wouldn't it be pretty cool if there was a Witcher with guns? Well, 7 years later, no one has still made a game about it. No, Fortnite doesn't count, so I decided to take matters into my own hands. I started by making Geralt's model. I wanted to combine video game Geralt and Henry Cavill's Geralt. I'm still pissed about the Netflix show, by the way.
Come here.
Yeah.
Come on, Roach.
At first I used MetaHumans, Epic's character creator for Unreal Engine, but it was a little too limited for my needs. Not to mention the file size was too thick, so I switched to Character Creator 3. It had more customization options, but I still had to manually paint Geralt's scar in Substance Painter, because apparently it requires me to pay additional in CC3. I then used Blender to make him some clothes. Rigging the coat turned out to be surprisingly hard because of how the armpits overlapped the torso. Or maybe I'm just bad at rigging. If there are any 3D artists out there, let me know how you would have done it. I imported the character in Unreal and it looked pretty good. Of course, the coat needed some physics, so I went ahead and painted those two. I was pretty happy with the result. When it came to making the combat, I had two choices: program everything from the ground up, like the movement, shooting, AI, etc., or take an existing system that already had the basic third-person shooter mechanics and build on top of that. Given that I only had 2 weeks to create this game, I decided to save time and go with the second option. I went with the dynamic combat system, which had all the basic mechanics I needed for combat, such as movement and shooting. This allowed me to focus more on the unique elements of the game, such as the Witcher-themed abilities and characters. Speaking of abilities, for Quen, I made a material that has zero opacity in the middle. I applied this to a sphere mesh on the character which will block the bullets. I then created a system that plays a shockwave particle when bullets hit that sphere, making it look like the sphere is absorbing all the damage. Igni was a little easier. I just had to make a particle that shoots out fire, kind of like a flamethrower. Art was similar to Igni, but instead of damaging, it pushes the character or object. Since the game is set in early 1950s, 1960s, I went with two classic guns for Geralt. The Tommy gun, can't have a Mafia game without that, and the M1911. I quickly modeled them in Blender and textured them in Substance Painter. Substance is great for non-artists like me, since I can just drag and drop materials and they would generally look good. For the enemies, I went back to Character Creator 3 to design the head. I figured the enemy should be generic looking, and what's more generic than a bald, middle-aged villain? I found a nice looking suit in my library of unused Unreal Engine stuff. I put the two together in Blender and it resulted in this. I think I accidentally made Agent 47. I gave them sort of hats because seeing all of them bald was a bit jarring. It's important to have some realism, so I made it so that their hat flies off when hit hard or when shot in the face. With that done, I added some basic sound effects for the signs, but it was still missing one very important sound effect.
Pam param, pam pam param, pam param.
I wanted to create a warehouse that Geralt could raid. Quickly put up a level using some industrial building assets I had. Epic just gives out products like this for free sometimes. That's why I have a lot of them just sitting around. And after all that, this is the final result.
Pam pam param, pam param.
Thanks for watching.